they are not going to go door to door. What I believe will happen is that they will hit our infrastructure, especially those which we need in order to live, i.e. our water, our food. Special Forces Group warns of terrorists pouring through America's open borders. We've talked about this for a while. The DHS has warned. The FBI has warned. I believe the CIA has warned. Remember that video that went viral with all of the sheriffs from the United States who went to Washington, D.C., and they received nothing but cautions that this is going to happen. This is not just coming from sheriffs, from police, from law enforcement. No, this is coming from those people that were trained to fight terrorists. Special forces groups warn the United States of America, that is, of terrorists pouring through America's open borders. I wonder why, but let's read on. And before I start, thank you very much for joining in today. I've had a rough last couple of days. YouTube has completely taken down a video that I put up, and then they kept on restricting my AP Reacts video, which I have to tell you is very funny. So that video may go out later on today, so it'll be kind of like out of order. On that video, I may be saying something like, oh, we may or may not have a live stream today or something like that. But that was supposed to go out last Friday. But it's such a funny video, in my opinion, that I'm going to go ahead and put it out anyway, even though YouTube chopped it up some in order for it to be visible. A group of U.S. Special Forces has warned about terrorists coming to America. Not only coming, ladies and gentlemen, they are already here, and they know this. The group is composed of Army Rangers, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Marine Raiders, Air Force Air Commandos, and other special forces. According to the letter, which was an open letter, America faces a gravely serious threat of a terrorist attack inside the country. And the terrorist attack, ladies and gentlemen, that will take place, in my opinion, is going to be that of an infrastructure attack where they will sabotage something that we need in order to continue our standard of living, and or something that will make the American people too scared to even live life as we live it today. The risk is compounded by developments in the Middle East and the porous, unsecure southern border, through which we have seen numerous instances of individuals on terrorist watch lists and others from adversarial countries attempt to enter the U.S. Now, I don't even know if this video is going to appear, if they're going to let this video go up or not, but if you are one of those that was alerted to this video, please give it a like, watch it all the way through. That really helps, and please share with someone else that you think may benefit from this information. Now, I know some of you may be tired of hearing this because I say it on almost every one of my news videos, but I do leave the links to all of these stories and or articles on a pinned comment, along with the sponsor of this video, which is Genesis Gold Group. And I want to thank Genesis Gold Group for sticking with the AP community through these hard times, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I like to give value to those that give value to our community. So I even contacted the CEO of Genesis Gold Group about a month and a half ago. And I said, listen, I'm not sure if you want to continue to sponsor this channel. He says, why? What's going on? I said, well, I'm not getting as many views as I used to, and I want to make sure that you're getting value for what you're doing to sponsor this channel. He said, don't worry about it. We're going to stick with you. So thank you very much, Genesis Gold Group, for sponsoring this video. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just talk about it really quick. If you're in the market for exchanging some of your fiat currency notes into real wealth, real money, i.e. gold and silver, I'm not a financial advisor, but you can give Genesis Gold Group a call, and no pressure. They will give you a free consultation and answer all of your questions. So if you have any questions on what you have to do, or if you just want to exchange some of your fiat currency notes for some physical gold or silver, give them a call and they'll be more than happy to help you out. Now listen to this. Even terrorists from Central Asia are crossing the border, not only from the Middle East. The Department of Homeland Security has identified over 400 immigrants from Central Asia and elsewhere who gained entry into the U.S. in the past 3 years as subject of concern. The migrants were reportedly brought in by human smuggling networks with ties to ISIS. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you with specificity that this is going to happen, that we are going to have another terrorist attack? I think that the laws of averages say that we are. But I can't predict the future. I can't say that. But that is why we prepare. If we could all predict the future, ladies and gentlemen, we wouldn't have to prepare. We would just be like, hey, public safety announcement. Tomorrow there's going to be an earthquake, so get out of this area, get everything out of your house, because we can predict the future, but we can't predict the future. And that is why we prepare. Ladies and gentlemen, don't wait for something crazy to happen for you to say, man, I should have prepared. Instead, be in a position where you say, hey, I'm prepared. This is what we need to do. And hopefully you're prepared enough to where you can help your neighbor or your family member that lives nearby. Now let's talk about why it is that McDonald's is leaving San Francisco. A McDonald's in the Stonestown Galleria Mall that's been there for over 30 years is saying no more. We can't take it. In the past, I've talked about how it is that the culture here in America will change. And how is that? It will be driven by inflation. It will be driven by woke ideology. Well, let's hope that day never comes and America continues to be America in the same way that it's been for all of these years that has made us the greatest nation on the face of this earth. Roderick said, and Roderick is the owner of the McDonald's in San Francisco that is leaving that mall because they just can't take it anymore. All right. He said that his decision to close his business was mostly driven by failed attempts to negotiate his lease with landlord Brookfield Properties, which owns Stonestown Galleria. Roddick said that he and his landlord failed to meet a mutual, agreeable, commercially sustainable framework after years of discussion. But why is this? What is his landlord doing? Is it that his landlord is too greedy? No, ladies and gentlemen, it's that taxes are so high. All of the fees that these businesses have to pay in order to stay in business in San Francisco are so high that this is not the first store that closes down. Many others have closed down. In addition to that, the lawlessness that's going on in San Francisco, they actually have an application for you to put on your phone so that you can divert streets that have too much poop on the sidewalks. Moreover, Roderick told the San Francisco Chronicle that despite his exceptional tenure, property taxes and shared tenant fees at Stonestown Galleria were much higher than that of other franchise locations he owns. If a business cannot make a profit, it will not stay in business for too long, so they had to pick up and leave. He also blamed California's minimum wage increase to $20 an hour, which went into effect April 1st, on his decision to close. Roderick said economic headwinds, referring in part to the wage increase, were impacting the restaurant industry during a time when this critical California sector is struggling, and in my opinion, they will only continue to struggle until there are no more fast food chains that serve things that the establishment does not want them to serve. All right, so people will have to get stuck saying, where's the beef? Because there will be no beef if they get their way. And it's not only you, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, that should be changing your fiat currency units into gold or silver or something that has wealth. But Nigeria is recalling gold reserves from the US, UK, as world increasingly abandons corrupt Western finance pyramid scheme. And it is common knowledge around the world that the fiat currency, which is the US Federal Reserve note, will eventually lose its value, if not lose most of it. So ladies and gentlemen, when I say you should be transferring your fiat currency units into gold and silver, it's because eventually those fiat currency units will be known for the imposter that it is. It is a king that is wearing no clothes. The global financial system appears to be in peril, which is prompting more and more countries to recall their gold reserves from countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. The latest nation to claw back its gold from the West is Nigeria, which is reportedly repatriating 21 tons of gold amid ongoing economic concerns like runaway inflation and escalating geopolitical tensions. And it looks like Nigeria may be looked onto Zimbabwe. Remember, Zimbabwe is now backing their currency with gold, and their inflation is actually going down. So the IMF told Zimbabwe it's not a good idea if you back your currency with gold, and Zimbabwe says, we are going to do it anyways, we don't care what you say. And I talked about this a while ago, that I was kind of impressed that a small country like Zimbabwe would say no to the US dollar as far as what its backing is, and no repercussions came of that. From what I understand, no sanctions, no military actions or nothing like that came of that. So now other small countries, as I said before, are now starting to get embrazened and doing the same thing. Well, before you can back your currency with gold, what do you have to do? You got to get your gold back. In order to minimize the risk of major losses, Nigeria has decided that its gold is best stored domestically rather than in a volatile place like the US and the UK that appears to be getting dethroned by an emerging new world order. And it's a little bit scary to think that all of these smaller countries or countries that are part of the West, that they're pulling their gold out. Because remember, during World War II, a lot of countries were putting their gold into the US so that it would be in a safe haven, because there was no kinetic war action here in the United States. Well, what does it mean when all of these countries are pulling their gold out of the Western nations? Let's hope it doesn't mean that there will be kinetic actions against us. Maybe it's because nobody trusts the West anymore, like they say here. India is another country that recently decided to bring its gold home as well. Reports indicate that the world's most populous nation recalled 100 tons of its gold from vaults in the United Kingdom as well. Increasingly, non-Western countries are questioning the legitimacy of the Western stranglehold over money in general. They also figure out the West's gold and dollar reserves scam, which is used as a foreign policy tool to control the world. I hope that you believe that there will come a day where our wealth here in the United States of America will be about 1/3 to 1/4 of what it is now. Even if eventually we become a manufacturing nation like we used to be in the past, we are going to have to pay for all of the wealth that we took from the future and brought here to the present so that we can live a higher standard of living. We're going to have to pay that back. And how is that? Through inflation and the degradation of your purchasing power. So protect yourselves. Having said that, again, I will be putting out that other video as soon as it's ready to go later on today. And there is so much news that I've missed because of that video that was taken down as well, that I'm going to go ahead and put up another video probably tomorrow that covers some news that, in my opinion, it's just too important to pass up. Having said that, I hope that you have a very nice day today. I will try to catch up my live streams as soon as I can. It's that things here are getting a little crazy. Believe it or not, it's been raining for like 5 or 6 days in a row now, and we have about another week or week and a half of rain to go, right in the middle of the busiest time of the year. Having said that, I have a whole bunch of other things planned that I want to do, but there's only so many hours in the day. Have a great day. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for all of your support. God bless America. I'm Alaskan Prepper. I'm out.